We live in an age of consequences that remain largely unexamined insofar as they relate to energy and environmental security. This is because energy and environmental impacts have not traditionally been considered security issues. The climate crisis alone contains the potential for catastrophic impacts on water and food security and rising temperatures and sea levels. Although these issues are thoroughly integrated, the institutions meant to tackle them are not. We have to consider what are the things that we least expect and plan for those. During the Cold War, we spared no effort in preparing for high impact, low probability events such as a surprise nuclear attack. Today, we're less invested in contingency planning on energy and environmental issues, such as a catastrophic acceleration of ice sheet discharge that could lead to rapid sea level rise. This image of the allegory of Plato's cave captures our challenge, with people fixed and able to see only shadows of reality, captures our challenge in understanding new security realities. And Foresight and Warning is actually about escaping the cave and immersing ourselves in all that we do not understand, because it's sometimes difficult to see what the issues of emerging significance are, because of those shadows of present-day concerns affecting our vision. In this regard, for example, it's important to consider demographic considerations. What are the implications of the expected population rise of over 9 billion in 40 years' time? We need to consider the consequences of such developments as the melting of glacial ice on the Tibetan plateaus, the incidence of wheat stem rust affecting wheat in parts of the Middle East, and also the implications of extreme weather events for energy infrastructure and fuel production capacity. Our work to date has emphasized that climate change will not be benign, uniform, or gradual. Under these conditions, resiliency and preparedness are paramount. But governments lack knowledge of how energy and environmental dynamics affect security. There are many underlying currents of change. We can think of them as seismic forces beneath a quiet volcano. What underlying forces are we not thinking about? What underlying forces are we not thinking about? Probably a great many. Many of these are global problems whose effects multiply quickly and unpredictably in a complex system like a power outage. Melting polar ice is the proverbial canary in the coal mine of planetary health. In the last few years alone, the most respected developments not anticipated by the world's most respected climate change scientists have occurred, including faster than expected ice melting. Drought, food, water scarcity, and conflict do not happen in isolation. They reinforce each other in nonlinear, unexpected ways, and their interconnectedness can lead to widespread systems failures. Imagine for a moment if you didn't know what a red light meant at an intersection. What's our equivalent for understanding the visual symbols of energy and environmental changes? We're working to develop new capacities for a globally interdependent world, creating new communities of strategic insight and expertise, working to translate the best of science into security-related consequences and opportunities. Earlier this year, President Obama said we need to understand the world as it is to develop the capacities that we need to confront emerging danger and to act with purpose and pragmatism to turn this moment of peril into one of promise. There is structure beneath the chaos. Our work requires developing new capacities for a radically changed security paradigm, the outlines of which are not yet clear. These challenges must be considered through a global lens, which is not the usual perspective of a traditional national security organization. They require new capacities for connecting across boundaries, generational, organizational, national, and disciplinary. Another area of focus for us is the challenge of communicating about the risks of abrupt change in systems. Inputs to risk models tend to be based on past experience and can lead to a false sense of security about the future, as this Taleb's example of a turkey's abrupt ending shows us. It's what we least expect that can be most threatening to our national and global security. So diversity of participation in government and non-government partnerships is key to resiliency. So in response to this, we're launching an international online peer-to-peer forum complementing face-to-face meetings, which we call an ecosystem because of the diversity of participation. I hope our vision of a global Foresight Commons is large enough to match the scale of the challenges we're facing today. Thank you.